continue with our food safety focus, the City of Johannesburg has ordered its law enforcement team to crack down on spaza shop owners who flout regulations. Led by the Johannesburg Metro Police Department and city health and safety officials, the team will launch its operation in November to address the issues. Dr. Mgcini Tshwaku is the Johannesburg's MMC for public safety and joins us live now. Dr. Tshwaku, good evening to you and thank you so much for your time. So certainly these teams will be deployed. You're starting with operations in November. Why wait until then?
No, good evening to yourself and good evening to the viewers at home. Look, we started, we had to look at the BMU in terms of our manpower. BMU is the bylaw enforcement unit. I had to go to each and every unit, that your illegal dumping unit, your informal, your informal traders bylaw unit, and all these units, illegal connection and all of that, and look at the inventory in terms of how many people, the manpower we have. And then also we had to plot in terms of how many spaza shops that we're having in Soweto and how many spaza shops we're having in the city of Johannesburg. We had to check also, because it's actually not going to be focusing on the spaza shops alone, this bylaw enforcement. It will also be focusing on the informal traders, because informal traders, there are dedicated areas within the city of Johannesburg where the traders must be there. You cannot have an anarchy that people are trading everywhere. We love our people. We know that we grew up, all of us, from those proceeds coming from the informal trading. But we need to go according to the law and all those things. So that is what, Madam, we had to do. So also we had to ensure that who does what when. If you've got 500 plus officers, if you're not properly organized, you won't be achieving anything. So we had to study all these areas, and then we are launching on the 1st of November. It's Operation Manje Namhlanje Alufako. In other words, noma kakakanjani. We have to ensure that we are actually going to close those spaza shops, and they are given time to go and be audited. They must comply properly. They must get a proper license from the developmental planning. They must ensure that they comply with the environmental health, the practitioners and all of that. Yeah. They know exactly that they have to comply.
So when it comes then to some conversations that we've had here on the show, there is a concern, though, to say that these things only happen when there's been incidents, and that is concerning, to say that it's a more reactionary approach instead of a proactive one. What do you say to that?
Look, I really, to the citizens of Johannesburg, we really had to look in terms of our unit. There's been a lot of issues that we had as a JMPD in terms of the bylaw unit. We had to start it from scratch to check what is happening. It just took so much time. And remember, one of the priorities of the city of Johannesburg has been, bylaw has been in the top of the agenda. We had to get what happened before us. There are litigations which are there and all of that, And what is also so important is that the environmental health inspectors, there is sort of a shortage there, especially the ones that are going to be working in the city of Johannesburg. Remember, also that department has been calling for an increase in terms of manpower, in terms of the environmental health, the practitioners. And there was a call to saying that you've got the environmental health practitioners which are there. They are sitting at home. They work during the COVID period. So city, working with the province and all the other spheres of government, let us bring back those people. You know that the city of Johannesburg doesn't have enough budget and all of those things. So we are glad now in terms of there is a intergovernmental agreement between the city and the province, and there's a sense of working to do, together. But what we want to do is that we will do our part. Last year, we told this National Spaza Shop Association that they need to really comply in terms of the food quality and all those things, and disaster management, and also how are the local communities going to benefit. But it looks as if that they are very stubborn, they don't want to comply, and we have no other choice as to saying that we're going to enforce them fire by fire.
Okay, so
they comply.
MMC, I have to ask though, are they simply being stubborn, or are they exploiting a loophole where they see that people are not on the ground to ensure that things are getting done?
They don't care. I can tell you right now.
But it means there's a loophole then.
Yeah.
Let's agree there's a loophole, because you are raising an issue. You are saying to us tonight that you do not have enough budget, because ideally, if you had a budget, you would have been able to address this adequately, right?
Yeah, sure. I'm just saying that we need there's a shortage of the inspectors, which are actually there, of which I think that the city, because remember myself, I'm in the public safety side, so that environmental health, it falls the public health side. But what I'm saying that is, so there's been a re-evaluation and checking in terms of how can this actually best be really done. So on our side, we've been studying the whole thing in terms of, if we want to close them, how can we do it best in the way that we have this manpower that we're actually having. Hence now we're going to be going in. Actually, we were going to go in because the priorities of the mayor and the president of the city was that the bylaw enforcement was the top of the agenda. Remember, it started from the pronouncement of the Sindiso building and the bad buildings and all of that. But we're on our way there. Look, it's better late than really never, but we were really trying, and we really want to apologize. I mean, on the public safety side, look, on our side, we really had to work very hard and look at the inventory. We look at what people are doing and all those kind of stuff like that, and relaunch, this bylaw in enforcement unit. It's not that easy. I can tell you right now, to deal, with that unit and start that unit and restart it and all of that. So you've got the historical sort of, I can say, non-performance which is there. So we had to revamp it and change it, and it takes time. Change management and ensure that when you launch them, you actually getting the results, key performance indicator, who's doing what where. So it took us a bit of ready time, and you remember that when this incident happened, it was during this election period, and there was in terms of uncertainty within the government itself. We did not know whether we are coming or going, So after the stabilization of this government of local unity and the part, we're able now to refocus and ensure that this is done. I wanted to really do it very earlier. You will go full speed ahead. You want to plan, but you find that, okay, fine, this unity, and this, the partnership between these parties is actually that doesn't work. So let me really apologize to the citizens of Johannesburg. We're going to do the best that we can. We don't have enough power, but our first stance is to go to Soweto. We're going to go full force. I call upon as well, the province, the national as well. This we must really do it. We must just go back there to the basics. People must comply.
All right.
And all this. Yeah.
MMC, thank you so much for your time. We'll hopefully chat when you are then launching in November, so we speak more about the KPIs, but also
so
again.
Of November.
Okay.
1st of November. And we're inviting you. Yeah, we're inviting you on the breakfast. We have a breakfast on the 31st of October.
Okay.
It's a breakfast, meet-up breakfast. You can ask anything you want with the KPIs in terms of how we're going to do this thing.
All right.
But we want to make it as an element of surprise in terms of flooding the Soweto. Yeah. So
that's fine, but I do now think that it's time we have the mayor as well, because this is the third time in the city critical portfolios are concerned about the issue of personnel and the issue of the budget. So thank you so much, MMC, for your time. So certainly it does look like, again, like we said last night, we do need the mayor to talk to him about how then does he begin to work around this issue of finances, because you think about the roads, you think about the water. Now we're hearing about the issue of these particular units that are now going to go out, this operation. How does it then begin to ensure that there's a sustainability in funding here? But certainly we'll keep chasing. That is Dr. Mgcini Tshwaku there, who is the Johannesburg's MMC for Public Safety.